live. There we go.
You look like you're questioning it. Hey, everyone. We are not reporting live from the trail.
We're not walking right now, and we're talking.
We're still talking.
We're only talking.
I'm supposed to be looking over here, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we have so much to share. So many of you sent in questions. Let's see what else we have. Things. I'm guys. I'm a little like. I just got my hair cut. I feel like I'm not a hiker anymore. Like I'm just a bit of a.
We're too clean.
Or too clean. Someone give us. Sorry,
nice.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Someone give us a thumbs up and let us know that you can hear us, so that we do have like things, volume on and all that kind of stuff.
I think it's working properly.
I think it's working. We haven't done this in a while. The last time we did a live, I don't remember when the last time was you did a live. But last time Dad and I did a live was when we were in Paris. No one's given us. Oh yes, yay! Thank you, Stephanie. Now we know we're it's a rolling.
We're here. People can hear us.
People can hear us. So the last time we did a live, we were in Paris. I don't even know what we talked about, but for those of you just joining, if you don't know, Captain and I. That's his trail name. And I'm really going to try and say his trail name more now because I've been so bad. The last video I looked at after we'll edit it, I must have said his name Largo like 30 times. And now I'm like, oh, I need to be calling him Captain. What am I doing? We make mistakes. Do you call me Sunshine?
I should call you Mom.
Yeah, that's not my name anymore. It's Sunshine. We can't use that anymore. Okay, so we are about, I think we're about 12% into a through hike from Georgia to Maine in the Appalachia Trail. And it's 2,192? 96? 97?
I don't know. It changes all the time.
I can't remember how many it is. 2,196.4, 2,197.4. We are we're actually 310 miles into the trail. And we are taking a break right now for, I don't know, 17 days?
It's been a while. It's been around like 16, 17 days, not including the day we got off.
Because Captain has end of the school exams that he has to take, 2 APs, French and Spanish. And then we'll be back on the trail in about a week. So that kind of catches everyone up to if you're just joining us now, or if you're like, why the heck aren't you on the boat, or what's going on? I thought you were on the trail. Now you look like you're in a house.
Doesn't this look like a boat?
The quick catch up, right?
This looks like a yacht.
This is a fancy boat, I'll tell you. Our boat is not this fancy. Okay, so we have all kinds of things to share with you. A bunch of people sent in questions. You guys are our priority. You guys here live with us. So if you have questions, pop them in the chat. Will cannot join us on this because we can't apparently
conference him
in. So he's actually kind of texting me on the side like, oh, don't forget to tell him this. Don't forget to tell him that. So if you guys have any questions for Will, we can ask him the question here and then he can text me the answer.
A little bit of a game of telephone.
So let's see. In development, Largo, Captain has gotten a haircut. Oh. I just got my haircut. It was super long, guys, and I just could not deal with it on the trail. It was like a mangled mess, and it was supposed to be cut so that it could still go in a ponytail. He went a little crazy, so I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just happy that I have less to wash when I can wash it. And then as it gets warmer, when we're going by streams and stuff, I can maybe dip my head in, and I'm not going to have like a solid kind of mess here because my hair will kind of start to dread. And although I like dreads, I don't want them right now. So.
It's ironic though, because the amount that the vlog has actually shown our hair is probably very little.
It has.
And so it probably doesn't seem like we've cut our hair.
That's true. I don't think, you've had your hat on?
I have had my hat on.
Oh, you guys, look, Largo has hair here. That's so funny. You have had that Apple hat on the whole time.
Yeah.
Largo is a spokesperson for Apple.
Apple sponsor us.
Apple sponsors. And for those of you who are wondering, Apple is not sponsoring us, but we would love it. Yeah, you have a lot of Apple swag, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think my hair has been down a little bit, but it's going to be in a hat going forward just because it's going to be so darn hot. All right, so guys, where are you chiming in from? Send us some questions. I will start kind of going over the questions. You guys know where we are. Well, actually, they don't. They don't know where we are.
Where are we?
You want to tell them where we are?
I don't even know. I've been sitting at a desk for the past few weeks studying. But yes, we are right now actually in Palm Springs.
We're in Palm Springs. And Captain said to me 2 days ago, and again yesterday, so I'm just going to put it out there, you guys. He said, my butt is hurting so much from sitting in a chair for like 12 hours a day.
It's more mainly because of the chair than not walking.
Right.
But
it's crazy. We went from walking, 12 hours a day to
not walking.
I mean,
walking negative hours.
What are you
per
walking?
day.
Are you walking 10 minutes
I'm walking
a day?
from the table to the fridge for water, back again
to the bathroom.
to the bathroom, and then to the bed.
And then to the bed. I haven't been walking either. There's a reason I actually haven't been walking. I went on one hike with my friends Lori and Maricon. I see Lori's on here, which was awesome. And I want to go on a hike tomorrow. I just haven't been because I've been having problems with my Achilles. And I'm going to tell you guys about that in a minute and what I've been doing and kind of the mistakes I made and what I'm doing to kind of compensate and all that kind of stuff. But basically, we're not walking. I'm also working a ton too. I'm probably in front of the computer 12 to 15 hours a day. So this is kind of hyper-focused time. And there's a reason for that as well. Largo's almost done with his school, but I am working, some of you probably know, I'm working about 20 hours a week on the trail. I need to cut that back to about 10. It's just about killing me. And so what I'm doing now is I'm kind of working ahead on things. And so that I'll still get those hours and I'm just getting them in now, if that makes sense. All right. So I see, hi. Oh, from Montenegro. Woo!
Oh, wow.
I love Montenegro. From Florida, the Big Apple. Woo! And Cindy says, I noticed you guys get your hair cut immediately. Thanks. It's probably going to be in 5 months before we get it cut again. So Johnsontown, Pennsylvania, South Carolina. Thank you for those of you saying you're starting your day with us. Thank you. Hi, Brenda. Lori said, did the DMV go well on Monday? Oh,
it did.
There's been all kinds of other things that we're here for too.
I have my permit now. Barely passed, but I have my permit.
Watch out. He only passed by 1 point, guys. So Largo Captain has his permit. I'm practicing the captain with you guys. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can do it. He went to the prom. He's been studying. What else? That's pretty much. Those are the only two fun things. I mean, it's not like it was so much. So now we have a driver and a half kind of in the house.
Am I a half?
Well, you can't drive alone. So, and then
I can drive.
Avalon was here for a bit. We'll tell you more about that in a bit too. And she's driving too. So, yeah, it's scary when your kids start to drive. Hey, Kathleen on Cape Cod. UK, yay! Australia. Is that Wales or is that Lake Walls? Walls. Right. Taiwan. Oh my God! Wow. You guys are from all over the place. This is so much fun. Diane from Maryland, Hudson Valley. Hey, Brandy. South Central Pennsylvania, 5 miles from the AT half point. Wow. The AT half point.
We'll be there eventually.
The AT half point seems so far away at this point.
Don't worry.
I'm not going to cry
in many months.
Right. We'll get to you at some point. Wow, this is so fun. You guys are from all over the world here. This is awesome. Okay. So questions, pop them in there, guys. Otherwise, I've got a list over here of questions that people have sent in. All right, let's just jump in. Hi from Ohio. All right, we're going to jump in with a feet update. Some of this might be exciting for some of you. Some of you might be like, oh, I'm not going to talk about anything too long.
Good.
Aches and pains for you is nothing, right? He's perfectly fine. Okay, so something I didn't mention a lot on the trail because we talk about aches and pains, but I don't want to kind of belabor the topic. And so I was an athlete in high school. I mean, listen, I don't make it sound like I was like.
You're a world-class Olympic athlete, went international, won many awards.
Okay, I was not, but I was an athlete and I played basketball and softball. And the attitude was always like, be aggressive, keep going, keep pushing through the game. And I've kind of taken that attitude on the trail. And so I can take a lot of physical pain and I'm used to pushing through it. And it was not until I got off the trail that I realized the extreme Achilles pain that I've been hiking with. I didn't realize how bad it was. And it wasn't like it was unbelievably painful on the trail, but I know it was bad because I haven't hiked for Monday will be 2 weeks and I can still feel pain in my Achilles. It's finally starting to get better. I would have never just said, I'm going to take 2.5 weeks off the trail to rest my Achilles. This happened because of his schooling. I'm not proud of the fact that I didn't recognize that my Achilles needed rest and that I didn't take care of it. And who knows, it probably could have ended our hike, or at least my hike, had I not gotten off the trail. And so I've never had Achilles problems before, which is very odd. And I don't know why. It could be so many different things. That's the thing. It could be my shoes. It could be I'm hiking at an older age than I have before. It could be the terrain. It could be not stretching enough. But in a nutshell, and I don't want to belabor this topic too much because I want to get to more exciting stuff, and also for you guys to hear Captain's thoughts on things. You can ask him a ton of questions. What I have done since then is let me see if I can remember everything. I have been doing turmeric and ginger shots. I've been doing turmeric tea. I've been doing lavender Epsom salt foot baths. I've been doing cold compression. I did needling, acupressure, reflexology.
So we've done everything.
Resting, elevation. And there's got to be a couple other things in there, some hippy dippy stuff, I'm sure. It's finally starting to feel better in the last 2 days. Yeah.
Hopefully all that worked.
And I have to get better because someone has made it quite clear that if something happens and I can't continue, he's going to throw the Garmin on me, hit SOS, and keep going. So
I'm not going to be held back. I have to hit my records.
Look, you guys, you thought he was so cute and sweet in the vlogs. Look at him. He's relentless. So anyway, Achilles problem. Oh, and I also switched shoes. Shoes. Another thing is we left, you guys have all heard this, but we left the US 10 years ago to travel full time. And as a result, well, I've been working from home for 20 years, so I don't have shoes on that often. The last 10 years, I've had shoes on even less. And in the last 3 years living on a boat, I've had them on even less, which means my feet are not used to being in shoes. And I'm wondering if that contributed to my Achilles pain, which very well could be. So in a nutshell, all these things that I'm doing and the things that I'm going to bring into my trail way going forward, hopefully will help. Otherwise, I'm going to be left on the side of the road and
I have no pain. I'm perfect. I'm amazing. Yeah. I will blow past you and then I will just keep going.
You are amazing. If you're that amazing,
never stop.
Maybe you could carry me. All right. Let's see some questions here. Did you treat any of your clothes or tent, etc., for tick prevention?
We need to do that.
We haven't yet, but we have the product. And we will treat it before we get back on the trail. We just saw our first tick, the day that we left. The day we left. And so we will be treating everything. That we take the ticks and the Lyme very serious. There's Nana. Hi, Nana. Were you guys using Hokas? And how are they during your hike? Okay, so we're both using Hokas.
I've found
yours, right?
that mine are perfect. Mine are really comfortable. That I've worn them in a bit, so they have lost a bit of the cushion. Yeah. But I feel like they've gone well. I mean, there's no problem with support. It feels really good. Yeah. So I'm not going to blame my Hokas because there's so many things that it could be for my Achilles, but that could be one of the things of many of the 10 things that are causing me problem. So I'm switching them out, but they were very comfortable. I didn't have they were very comfortable for me on the trail. They're not zero drop. So I switched to zero drop. People love the Hokas. If I'm still having my Achilles problems, in the ultras, which is what I switched to, it could have been the shoes, but then it could have been many other things. Maybe now that my feet have rested, it's better. Like it's so hard to say that if it's a shoe, and everyone's foot is so different, and our gait and our age and our, and how much we've stretched and how physically fit we are when we start. So I loved them when I was walking around Paris in them, and I did up to 10 miles. I think at one stint I did 10 miles in them in Paris. They worked really well for me on flat surface. And I think they're ideal for the trail because they're very cushiony and the terrain is kind of all over the place, but I just don't know. He loves his and has no problem. Mine feel amazing and no problems.
And we see a lot of people on the trail with Hokas on. So
yeah.
Let's see the Hokas. Do you feel like they are tight in the toe box? That's interesting. Okay, so I was wearing a pair of Ultras in Paris before I got the Hokas. The mystery, right? And then when I put the Hokas on, I thought, oh my gosh, they're too tight on my toes. But then I got used to them. So the last, I think day or two that we hiked,
You
the day I switched to ultras, and then
the bigger toe box, you started tripping.
And then I tripped more in like a 2-day hiking period than I have in the entire trail. And I trip a lot. You guys know that I'm clumsy. But I think it was just getting used to the wider toe box because I haven't been, I mean, there's not like, I'm in Southern California, so it's not like there's things popping out of the road that I'm tripping on, but I did get used to them and not trip. I personally like the wider toe box, but I'd never felt constricted and uncomfortable in the smaller one with the Hokas, if that makes sense. We're definitely going to be talking about this more on the vlog and the shoes and just what's working and what's not. But again, you got to take it with a grain of salt because everyone's feet are so different, right?
Absolutely,
I mean, it really depends. And I think that just physical ability and fitness when you come into it and age and gait, all that stuff plays into it. But I think it's really important to find the shoe that works for you. And he has Hokas. But you have 2 pair of ultras?
I have 2 pair of ultras that are exactly the same, just waiting for me. And I'm eventually going to switch. It's just about when.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Did
the
you do that?
FaceTime camera.
How did
No,
you do
that was you with this. Hold on, wait.
How do you do the rain one?
Hold on. It's
Look how fun this is, guys.
hold on. I think
I'm not kind of getting used to this haircut, guys.
That's confetti. Is it this one? Hold on.
Which Hokas do you have? Do you know which ones you have? Go get them.
Go check.
Dave says that I could trip over fresh air. It's so true. But the thing is, I like to think of it as it's not that maybe I'm not clumsy. I'm just enjoying the whole setting, right? And I get caught up in the trees and the birds and the everything, and then I trip. Or I get caught up talking to you guys since I like chatting with you. And then what kind are they?
I'm not sure. They're these ones.
They're stinky. That's what they are. All right, let's see. Will, I know you're watching. What kind of Hokas does Largo have?
Skyline Float X. Is that a name for a Hoka? I'm not sure.
Okay, here's a Martha. Will's going to report to us via text of what Hokas Largo is using. All right, so Martha says, have we stopped using deodorant yet?
No, never. Absolutely not.
Largo, those last 2 days you didn't use deodorant, did you?
No, I did.
You did?
Must have been you.
Okay, so the last 2 days we were on the trail. It was in the bear can, and I forgot to put it on. I didn't want to dig it out, so I didn't use deodorant.
Wow.
Full confession, but I haven't.
I have the Hoka Speedboats.
Speedboat? Is it Speedboat or Speed Goat?
Oh, Speed.
I don't know.
I think it's Speed Goat.
I'm so bad on brand names. I think it's Speed Goat, not Speedboat, isn't it?
It's a shoe.
Let's see what Dad says. He's like Speedboat.
Speed Goat.
It's Speed Goat. Yeah, I think you're wrong, Will. Everyone else is commenting Speed Goat. Will's thinking about the boat. That's why he's saying Speedboat. Oh, he said 2 thumbs down does the rain. It's not working. Okay.
My gosh.
We gotta be serious.
Rediscovering technology after the time.
We have to be so serious and so focused. Oh, no, we don't like that. No way. All right. Okay. So I don't know the answer to the deodorant question. We don't know. Will said it did auto correct. Okay. It's Speed Goat.
Speed Goat.
I thought it was, you're going to commit to the deodorant, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not going that long without deodorant.
You never know.
I will have to
You
throw
should
out
never say
clothes.
anything definitively like I'm never going to do this because when you're out on the trail and it's been months, you just never know what you're going to do. You may eat those words.
That's not going to happen ever.
I might start skipping deodorant, guys. I know. You know what I realized? Because other things smell more. Like I was really sweaty one day and my back and my pack smelled. And I was like, that smells worse than my underarms. Like
guys, I'm looking for a new trail partner. Anybody who wants to put in their application, I'm open now.
Is there, but there's a job description in the requirements, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Must wear deodorant.
5-star chef.
Must hike 28 miles a day.
The Olympic bodybuilder.
Must be willing to be left behind if you're too slow.
Exactly.
Okay. Do we miss the trail? I miss the trail. Do you miss it?
I miss it to an extent. I also like our amenities here, though. I can appreciate the Alexa and the very nice TV and the pool and the jacuzzi and everything that's here. We
were in Los Angeles for about a week, and now we're staying at a friend's house in Palm Springs, and he has a nice house. And you guys, might be getting soft because he is liking the amenities. I'm liking the amenities too, because I know we're not going to have anything like this again for a while. But I'm missing moving my body. And I thought I would move my body here. There's a lot of great hiking trails, and I've only been able to go on one hike. And I really, really am missing that a lot. But I'm trying also to take care of my Achilles so that they're healed well. So when I get back on the trail, I don't have any problems. So I miss it for sure. I definitely miss it. You kind of get in like this mindset, and then it's hard to like, it kind of reminds me of when we were preparing to leave the US to go travel full time. We were like living in one world and preparing for another. And this kind of feels like we've been living kind of in both worlds, like trail world and our other world, because of school and work and these exams and all this stuff. And so it'll be a little bit easier when we go back to kind of live in 1.25 world, because we still got to keep a little bit of work, and he wants to keep his business, but it won't be as much. And it feels kind of like a relief to step back on the trail and kind of just focus on that, if that makes sense. Someone said, I missed it. Are you on a 0? No, we are off the trail for about 17 days for him to take his end of the year exams. And we're in Southern California. What has surprised you the most on the AT?
I don't say anything has surprised us. Nothing hasn't really surprised me for me. I think that I kind of expected all this. The only thing that I didn't expect is not sleeping as well as I thought. I mean, I was thinking sleeping in a tent outside with the kind of noises of the night I would sleep well. But I mean, I feel like
we haven't slept great.
We haven't slept amazing.
Yeah, I would say there's been a couple surprises. One, I had no idea that beef jerky could cause the farts it causes. We've never eaten that much beef jerky before. Okay, that's one thing. For me, I knew it was going to be physically hard. It is definitely physically harder than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't really worried about the mental aspect of it, and I'm still not. I've done far harder things mentally. It's still very difficult for me to sail on our boat, and we've been sailing on it for 3 years, and we've crossed an ocean. We crossed the Panama Canal. We've been in some crazy seas. And that is still really mentally difficult for me. The trail's not mentally difficult for me. I mean, I have difficult days. I've shared pretty much every time I'm having a difficult time on the vlog, but it's never been anything where I'm like, I can't mentally do this anymore. Physically, it's been very, very hard on me. And I hope that's translated to the extent that I feel it. Maybe just because I realized I was hiking with so much pain, but just physically, it's harder than any other hike that we've done before. And so that's definitely been surprising for me. What else? I missed adventuring with Will, and that's been hard. He usually does all the adventures with us, so this is kind of weird doing it without him, and just very, very odd. I don't know. I don't know what the word is for that. The community is super, super nice, and after living outside the U.S. for a decade, I'll speak for just myself. I don't want to speak for him, but the diversity has been really, really important in my life. And I was worried about that coming back on the trail. I was excited because we hadn't been in the US and around Americans for a decade. So that felt really fun and like almost like a study abroad program coming back. But I also thrived on the diversity. And surprisingly, there's a lot of diversity on the trail. There's a lot of people hiking from other countries, which is really interesting to kind of hear their story and why they're doing this. Let's see. What other questions here? Lucas have a lot of good questions. Yeah, Brenda said, I'm sure conditioning going from boat to walking 10 hours a day every day for a month is part of it too. Yeah, I think so too. I think I probably walk less than the average. I mean, I've always exercised and whatnot and hiked and stuff, but just on a general and having my feet in shoes and moving, like people in office move a lot, I've been doing that before the trail. Thank you, Judy. Largo, have you seen a lot of other teens on the trail?
Surprisingly, I've seen more than I expected. I've seen about like what, two or three, which is more than I thought.
Well, you've seen. I was like, you didn't see 2 or 3, but yeah, you did, because we've seen a lot of like day hikers, section hikers,
hikers, and southbound hikers are. I mean, we've seen quite a few, which is more than I expected.
More, yeah. And during I don't know, winter break or spring break is when you saw a lot of them too, which was really. Exactly. Which is really cool. I'm assuming what does deodorant attract bears? Is that why people don't wear it?
That's a good question.
Well, if it has a scent, that's why we put it in our bear can at night. They can smell the scent. But most people, from what I've talked to, say they don't wear it because they said, what's the point? You're going to stink anyway. Like everything stinks. It's not just the underarms, it's the whole body. I mean, even just like the space between your back and your backpack, it's really sweaty and smells terrible. And I remember that from the Camino, like it can actually smell worse than underarm stink. So I think it's just an extra thing to carry. People say it doesn't really, after 2 days on the trail, it doesn't really do any good. I disagree with that. For me, it does still do a good job, but there's other things that are stinking. So I can't be putting deodorant on my back and my neck and my butt and, like my feet. Like it would just be, although I did hear that Loom has like a full body deodorant. A friend of mine was telling me that the other night when we had dinner, but I was like, I can't, it's so much, you guys, it's so much effort just to get yourself up and going. Someone commented about, how come I have makeup on? I do have makeup on right now, but how come I have makeup on the trail? And I just about died. Like, it's all I can do to brush my teeth. I don't have makeup on. I'm not carrying makeup. I do have some special pink glitter that I will be taking with me at some point for like an extra fun week. But in general, like, it's really, the hygiene aspect of the trail is very, very difficult and complicated. There are people that are doing it, and I admire them. They get up, they smell nice. I don't know what they're doing.
It's impossible.
I've seen some people with makeup on.
These people are not real.
I see some people, these are through hikers. I see some people who look like they're kind of grooming their beard every day. Awesome. That's not definitely not us. No. And now no one is going to want to come and meet us on the trail. It's like, you stinky buggers. Is the deodorant thing why Largo walks so far ahead of you?
Yeah.
Probably. When Will picked us up and he hugged me, he said that I didn't smell. And I was like,
impossible. That's practically impossible.
I think he really missed me and he was just lying. I haven't seen him comment here, so who knows? Maybe he fell asleep. Okay, are we getting our pack weights down? Oh, that's very interesting.
I actually am.
Do you want to talk
before
about that?
Before we left the trail, I got my pack weight quite considerably down. I didn't weigh it, but I know that it was a far cry from what I started from when we got off recently, because I made the decision to get rid of my sleeping clothes, actually.
Yeah.
I just never wore them. I was always way too tired to put them on, and I found no real need for them. I can understand if it's cold out and you need kind of a thermal layer or something along those lines. But I mean, in the hiking we were doing, I wasn't using that at all. Yeah. And that kind of just became my extra clothes bag. And when I understood that I was never going to use it, that was probably like 5 to 8 pounds down.
Yeah,
right
that was a lot. So what Largo is saying is that we have, like, you hike. So let's just say it's a cold day. You hike in your fleece and all this stuff. If it's a hot day, maybe you'll hike in your shorts and a tank top or something. But the idea is, what most hikers do is they hike in certain clothing during the day. And then at night, they put on clean merino wool or something to sleep in. And that's their sleep clothes. So they're clean at night. They get up in the morning, they put those dirty clothes on they had on the day before back on. So you're kind of always clean and fresh when you're sleeping. What he did, and I am actually going to do the same thing when we get back, is when we were hiking, most of the time we had our fleece pants on and we had on it's been cold enough that we've had our cold gear on. So it didn't make sense to him or to me, because I would be complaining the whole time I was doing it. It's like, we get in the tent and I'm taking off all of my warm clothing and putting on this merino wool, but I'm freezing. And I'm like, why am I doing this? And I wasn't sweating much in the cold weather stuff. So I just decided I'm getting rid of those jammies and I'm just going to sleep in my clothing like him.
Yeah. And not only that, waking up in cold mornings and having to change out of those sleep clothes was not fun.
Right. Now
I did that for the first 3 days and I was done.
He was like, I'm not doing that anymore. And I was like, oh, but it feels so good. And then he didn't have to convince me. I was like, this makes sense. And we can get rid of that extra weight.
Yeah. I carried it around for a little while after, but then at that point I was done with it.
And then the summer, I don't know what your plan is, but for my plan for the summer, I'm going to be wearing like things like this and maybe in a sun cover and shorts or skirt or something. After wearing those and getting all sweaty during the day, I am going to switch into shorts and a tank top at night. That's my jammies for nighttime. So I'm in something clean because I'm going to be so sweaty, or I'm anticipating I'm going to be sweaty, but that takes up a lot less space. So my pack at last weigh was 27 pounds with food and water in it for 5 days.
That was, however, before I took some of the electronics from you, and then
Yeah.
I'm also thinking that I should take the stove from you as well,
You
because
think
now
so?
that I have more space, it would be a better option.
You can if you want. I mean, you're stronger. And I have some other things that I'm getting rid of. When we get back on the trail, that first video that we do, I'm going to do like a pack share. I'm going to share with you what's in my pack. And I'm going to, it's going to be like the winter pack review, if that makes sense. So anything because I'm switching out to kind of summery stuff and less, and I'm getting rid of some stuff. So I want you to see kind of how I started out and what I'm moving towards. I would like to get to like 24, 25 pounds fully packed out with food and water. I don't know if that's possible. But I would like to get to that point because I really feel like I need to take a couple pounds off my pack that I'm carrying. So let's see. Listening while driving, so can't text. No, that's good. Don't text. We are here for exams right now.
AP exams specifically.
How many classes are you taking during the hike?
So when I was taking classes, after these AP exams, I won't be taking classes until around August for some summer classes. But I was taking Spanish AP, French AP, and then an English class as well. Yeah. So that took up around 2 hours to 3 hours on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then, of course, I had work outside of the trail, homework, stuff like that. But that would normally happen during 0 days.
And then he has his Dungeons and Dragons clubs that he runs for 6 hours a week on Fridays. So we have been getting off and doing a 0 on those Friday, Saturday. And now we're not going to do that because we want to make sure we make it to Katahdin before
hopefully before it starts snowing.
15th when they close. So we have to really punch in the miles. So we won't be doing that. I mean, we will from time to time, like if there's a special situation, but it's not going to be a regular thing anymore. Let's see. Do you feel safe on the trail if a woman was alone? Yes. And there's a pause there because I'm just trying to think. So there's a lot of women alone. I haven't got a creepy vibe from any. Have I said I've gotten a creepy vibe from anyone?
No, not really. No, everybody's been really.
I mean, I'm with Largo, so it's a different scenario. I'm with Captain, but I haven't gotten creepy vibe, or I haven't felt like if I was out there by myself, if I would be nervous or anything like that. I haven't felt like that. I would be more nervous of the I would be more nervous because I trip a lot and that kind of stuff. Like I wouldn't be nervous from people. I would be nervous from maybe if something happened to me physically and I was by myself, but then I would have a Garmin for safety. So I would do it. I'm enjoying doing it with him, so I don't want to do it alone. But I would do it alone. And there's a lot of usually what happens, you see people kind of teaming up with people and they become a tramily and they hike together. And you're kind of always seeing, most people are seeing the same people kind of over and over again, and you're leapfrogging, not us, because we take the Fridays off. So we are always with a new group. People will be like, hey, we haven't seen you before. Are you day hiking? We're like, no. Then we explain our situation.
We just slowly cripple ourselves.
Right. I think that, so the only reason I would be concerned hiking alone, male or female, would be if I had some sort of medical condition or something like that would make me nervous to be alone. Otherwise, I feel very safe. And there's a lot of solo female hikers out there. So Judy says, I'm in Northern California. Would you ever hike the PCT? Yes. Not until he has launched for university. Because he can't take another 6 months and do a hike. And I've only got 2 years left. So I'm not willing to be away from him for 6 months. I know people do it. I just don't want to. I know how fast this time goes, and we've already launched Avalon. And once they go off on their own adventures, you hope you get a bonus summer or something, they come back. But if they don't, I'm about seizing the moment now. So yes, it is on the list, most likely with Will. And CDT, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. And she says, or he says, thank you for sharing honestly. Of course, you guys, that's the only way we can do this. We're not actors. And, we've always done this to document our journey for our kids, as well as to show other people that the way we live is possible for just normal people. We're just regular people who just decided to go for it 10 years ago and say, what the heck? our old life's still there. We can go back to it. And so if we're not sharing the reality of it, it does no one any good. And frankly, I couldn't sleep at night if we were kind of BSing our way through this. So Brenda says, we'll do any AT segments with you later. So the idea was that he would hike with us like weekends, and that he would hike with us period from time to time. That has not manifested so far for several different reasons. Work, our business. He edits these daily vlogs as well. But he is going to be coming on the trail with us in July for at least a week. And we'll probably have a week kind of going dark on the vlog so that he can come and hang out with us, maybe 2 weeks. And we miss him, and we had thought he would be on here more with us. It's not his fault. It's not our fault. It's just circumstances of life, and kind of also realizing this is a lot harder and time consuming and logistic wise than we thought it was going to be. So it's worth it, but it's definitely very different. In the first couple of days, maybe it was the first week, I met this guy on the trail, and he said, you never really know what it's going to be like and what it's going to be like for you until you're out here and you're doing it. And so you can have all these great plans of like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to stretch for 3 hours and I'm going to cook homemade meals. But if that doesn't work for you on the trail, then that kind of changes. And you really don't know until you're out here doing it day after day after day. And, as much as I'm all for shakedown hikes, a week is not 6 months, right? So you learn a lot about yourself and your abilities and what you want in your life and what you don't want once you're out here. Sorry, something fell down my shirt. Anyway, what's the funniest trail name of a person that you've met? Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Okay, I've heard some really funny ones, and I have a terrible memory, and I can't remember anyone's trail name. And you guys are going to hate me for that, but that's one of my weaknesses. I'll tell you one I really loved is Cheese Plate. And those of you, I know a lot of you on here know a lot about us, and there's friends and everything on here, because I love cheese. And when I heard his name, Cheese Plate, I was super jealous. I'm like, oh, I want that name. There's been a lot of kitchen sinks. Those of you from the Camino days know that Will was kitchen sink. There's been some like 3-word ones that I can't remember, but when I hear them, I'm like, oh, that's clever. Like some are just really, really clever, like just like not one word things. I don't think that mine is particularly clever, but I love the meaning behind it. And I don't know if that vlog has released yet of why our trail names. No, that's coming out. Maybe. But some of them are really cute, and I wish I could think. But you know what I'm going to do from now on? I'm going to write down the real good ones, or clever ones, or interesting ones, or unique ones, or something like that. And then I'm gonna save them, and then I'll share them on a vlog coming forward for you, because there are some really, really good ones. Let's see. Becky says she'll come meet us on the trail. Yes, send me an email. We're all up for it. Brenda, what about your monthly? How do you deal with that? Brenda, that's a great question. And if you don't want to hear about the monthly thing, go get a coffee right now. It's only happened once on the trail so far, because I was lucky enough to have it here in a house the second time. It's a pain. I mean, I use the Diva cup. It's not ideal. I've kind of a combination between Diva cup and tampons. I've used Loom female wipes. When Largo leaves the tent and whatever, I use those to kind of feel fresh. You're never going to feel fully fresh like you do in a shower. I'm like this, next time it's time for it to come, I'm like this, because a lot of friends that have hiked it say that you'll usually lose your period 2 to 3 months in because you're exercising so much. And then of course the other thing is I'm like, maybe I'll reach menopause here, and then I can just go away completely. That would be great too, but that hasn't happened yet. So that's kind of the update on that. To be honest, it's a real pain to deal with on the trail. And maybe the younger women are dealing with it differently, but after all these years of having it, I'm just so over it. I'm just like, oh, So yeah, that's the unfortunate part of it. I mean, if there's a lot of women over 55, and if they're over 55, they probably are done, which is, I'm looking at them going, oh, that's so nice. Okay. Geraldine says the Camino is known for spiritual growth. Do you find any similarities regarding that? Okay. So yes, I would say that, when we were on the Camino, we asked a lot of questions to people of why they were doing the journey. And there seemed to be this break. Because the Camino was originally a religious pilgrimage. Okay. So there was a small percentage on the Camino that were doing it that were identifying as they're on a religious pilgrimage. Then there was another percentage on the Camino that said they're here for spiritual reasons, but not identifying with a religion. And then there were other things as well. I haven't noticed people saying I'm on here for like a religious pilgrimage, like specifically saying that. But there have been a lot of people saying it's a spiritual journey for them. And I don't really know what that means. It could be, they're there and they are connecting with their God greater. It could be an internal spiritual journey. People aren't talking, at least the circles we're in haven't been talking about that a lot, but people are there on their own personal internal journey, whatever they're calling that, if that makes sense. But it doesn't seem to have the same like religious impact that the Camino does, because that's the premise of the Camino when it was the Camino Frances when it was created, right? So I feel like the people I'm meeting are more like yoga and the universe will conspire to the trail will provide, kind of all that kind of maybe like new agey Buddhist kind of I subscribe to you have within you what you need to figure out your life, and it's within you to be able to do this type of attitude. So that's but I don't want to commit to like that's the way it is, because I haven't talked with enough people about that, and that doesn't seem to be the more the chatter on the trail is like retirees who are like, I've always wanted to do this, and figuring out the next stage of what they want to do with their retirement, or recent undergrad or grad school graduates who are in the same thing. Like, I don't know what direction I want to go, or they know what direction, or they're trying to choose between two directions.
And then there's us.
In the middle. There aren't too many of us. So that's kind of like, so people are more talking about it as a life direction journey. It may be a spiritual journey that they're keeping inside. They're just not talking about it. If that makes sense. Let's see. Lady Di says, do you think you and Will ever live in a house again? What do you think, Largo?
I don't know. I'm out of here. I don't care.
I'm out of here. You've got 2 more years with us. I'm out of here.
I'm counting the days.
His sister was like, I'm going to be so sad when I go. He's like, I can't get out of here fast enough, because he's seen her tell what the world outside in college is like. So it was not until Avalon launched that I felt a desire to have a recharge space. If I could pick any place in the world, it would be Paris. We're all very connected to Paris and love it. I don't want a lot of as much as I love nature and land, I don't want to maintain land or anything like that. But I wouldn't see us kind of in this space more than like a couple months a year, like maybe during Christmas. But it would be a place if the kids needed time or wanted to come back and recharge, a place where, like we're at a friend's house right now and he's on vacation. And like, I would love to have a place there where friends could come and go and hang out while we were traveling or whatever. So in an ideal world, I would love that. I don't know if it'll ever be in the cards for us financially. We still have the boat. So I really appreciate and enjoy when I'm in a stationary situation, like right now, like we're enjoying the couch. We've done some movie nights. We've been in the jacuzzi. We're like cooking kind of realish meals. We have frozen meals. We've had some frozen meals. I'm like cleaning the pool skimmer and stuff like that. So, I appreciate and enjoy when I'm in this space. I just don't know if I want to be in it long term. I feel like there will be a time in life where that is where we're at. And right now, I don't want that, and neither does Will. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Well, I guess time will tell, right?
Exactly.
Let's see. Where are we on this? You guys have some great questions. Trinidad and Tobago. Yay. Okay. Question for you, Captain.
Yeah.
I know you want to get your pilot's license. What do you hope or dream for the future? Oh, that's a great question, Michelle.
So right now, pilot's license is about as much as I'm thinking about right now. The goal is, of course, college with one of the more prominent aviation universities. And then after that, probably commercial aviation. unless some billionaire hires me to fly their very nice private jet. That's the idea. Delta's the goal.
I'm sure there's billionaires on here. Does anyone want to hire Largo?
Billionaires, email me.
And so once we complete the trail, we're actually going to stay in the United States for another 6 to 8 months, so he can get his private pilot's license. And then we'll leave again, probably go back to the boat and sail to French Polynesia, which has been our goal, a big goal of the boat. And then he'll have another 1.5 years with us before he goes to university. So, what about ticks in your tents and shorts versus long sleeve and light pants? We just bought like long sun shirts with hoods and stuff to protect us from the sun and from the ticks. There will be days that I'm hiking in tank tops, but what I'll do is like do it like in the early morning or in the evening when the sun's gone down and it's a little bit cooler. But we're gonna have to do tick checks, which are no fun. But we're going to have to do them each time. We haven't done them yet. We're going to have to start
Not only that, I have to stop sitting on random logs.
Yeah, Largo, Captain's been sitting on the ground a lot and on logs, and he found a first tick on one of the spots he was sitting on the other day. So we have to be really, really careful about that.
Fine.
But yeah, we will be wearing some long pants and kind of transitioning from like winter to spring before early summer. We'll both, at least I don't know if you are, but I'm switching in my fleece pants out for a little like a lighter full leg pant. I think I'm going to have to do shorts in the summer, but I mean, it's a little bit easier when you don't have hair on your legs. Like Largo has a lot of hair on his legs, so it'd be harder for him to see a tick, but I don't. So if there is a tick on me, I can easily see it. And I have a little contraption to take ticks off, but I also know how to do it because I grew up in Maine and I'm familiar with ticks. Let's see. You guys have great questions. I haven't watched you for quite some time. Largo is now a young man. Hi from Yale. Hi, yes, he is. Okay, awesome. Going for the triple crown of hiking, Judy. Maybe. I mean, it could possibly come to that. It's so hard to plan. Like, I mean, all I want to do is hike, but I want to be with him and spend time with him before he launches, and then we'll kind of reassess what the next phase of our life together looks like. Will and I. Hello from France. Hi. Miriam Benja. Hi guys. Our old neighbors in Paris. How are you guys? Dave says you're blessed in the US with your long trails. How did you decide on the AT over the PCT and the CDT? Oh, that's a great question. Do you know the answer to that one?
I actually don't. I think we just chose it at random.
We kind of did. We looked at some international trails as well. 88 Temples, the trail in New Zealand, a longer Camino in Europe. But it really it wasn't anything profound. It was that we have a lot of friends and family on the East Coast. So places for Will to stay, people for him to visit, people for us to meet up with on the trail that we haven't seen much in the last 10 years. Excuse me. It was also the trail that was, well, at the time we were looking at it, it seemed like the easiest trail, but I've since learned it's not the easiest trail physically, but logistic wise, it really works out. And so it was just kind of like Will and I have lived all over the US, but most recently we lived in Boston. He's originally from Miami. I'm from Maine, and the AT just felt like the right trail. And it just felt like it would really fit well with everything. So it wasn't anything like, oh, this has to be the trail. It just kind of worked out that way. Yeah,
we're not pretty dedicated.
I wish it was more profound reason, but it just seemed logistically that was the best way to go for us. Let's see other questions here. Did y'all consider having Will follow along and work from an RV instead of B&Bs? Yes, we did. But the expense of buying an RV seemed, because we're only going to be in the US. So we're going to be in the US for a little over a year. And we thought we could justify the expense of it if he was going to be taking flight lessons someplace that we could live in the RV. But it looks like his flight lessons might be in New Jersey, and I don't want to live in New Jersey in the winter. Although we
might freeze.
Although after sleeping outside in a tent, sleeping in an RV in the winter seems like nothing, right? Doesn't it seem like? Okay, I think Will's texted me. No,
but yeah, no. The plan is to Airbnb all the way through.
Yeah, although I would have loved that. We really did consider that, and he looked at some flight schools on the West Coast too, just for that reason, because I think it would have been really, really fun. But it didn't work out for us. Let's see. Mosquitoes and ticks. Yeah, mosquitoes and ticks are what's coming up, guys, next. So it's like we go from freezing to mosquitoes and ticks. So
I'm gonna have a permanent bug spray emitter just around me, surrounding me the entire time.
Right.
I'm just gonna have a cloud of bug spray around me.
The bugs are already like, they don't really like me. They really like you already.
He's so annoying.
He's in class and he's like swatting him away. Becky says that she's recovering from Lyme disease, so make sure we check. We absolutely will. Morgantown, West Virginia. Hi. Does Avalon want to join us on the hike? She does, actually. So Avalon was just, those of you who don't know Avalon is his sister and our 19-year-old daughter who goes to university in Pittsburgh. And she just came to visit us here in LA and Palm Springs for like a week. And then she's going back to graduation because she has some friends graduating. And then she has an internship for the summer.
So that was her summer break.
This is the first summer she hasn't hung out with us at all. She will come, I think, a week to 2 weeks in July and hike with us. And she's looking forward to it. And we're looking forward to seeing her. And she has an internship in an education startup. And she's going to be traveling quite a bit for the summer throughout the US and parts of Canada as part of her job description, which is really cool. So this travel lifestyle that we've had has led to a summer position, which is really cool. It's her first internship too. And it's her first time working for someone else because she's always had her own business or she's worked for family. Judy says, your journey has encouraged me to do the AT next year. Yes, do it. Yeah, absolutely. Do it. Here's the only advice I give for the AT, because everyone's different. Give yourself double the time and double the budget for the first 2 weeks. If that makes sense. It's going to take you longer than you thought in those 2 weeks. And you don't want to be stressing about money because you need a day off the trail, because you just need a day off, or you need a hotel, or you need some pampering.
Yeah. We definitely need some of that.
You'll get tougher and stronger. But those first couple of weeks, just now, there are people that'll disagree with me that say you should be in your tent and hitting it hard in your tent. Those people probably now are jumping into Airbnbs every day. You need to be pampering yourself a bit in the beginning and just jumping into it slowly and knowing what your limits are. And budget always factors into that. Make sure you budget enough so that you can go into a hotel and not feel guilty or stressed about it. Let's see. I think that's it for questions on there, guys. So I can go over add some more questions if you have in there. They're really fun. You can ask Captain questions too that are specific to him. Now, let me look at the list. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here, just making sure there aren't ones we already went over. Let me give you something you can share while I'm looking at the notes. We already talked about the trail community. Do you have anything else to say? I mean, everyone's been nice.
The trail community honestly has been amazing. We've seen a lot of kind of accepting people, and not only that, a lot of just kind of kind people with trail magic and all that. It's been amazing.
Yeah, the trail magic has been awesome. I mean, we have only had it twice.
Yeah.
Twice. And there are people that are saying, oh, did you see the guy with the soup? Did you see the guy with the French fries and the home fries? We aren't seeing these people. We must be on a different path.
Although we did see two of them in one day. In unison in one day.
Yeah, I think that's coming up. Did that vlog? No,
that's coming up in the next
day or two. Yeah. We saw two in one spot, and I was like, wow, we are the luckiest people on the planet. But the trail magic is really amazing, you guys. And when I've seen it, it's actually brought me to tears, because it's so unbelievable to be hiking all day and just see someone there with, like, one of the people, they had a Greek salad. And I was like, salad? Who's heard of such a thing? Like, we haven't had salad in so long. It was just like the things people think of that they bring. Like, this one guy had like Ziploc bags. He had toilet paper, because those are things you run out of. And we happened to be getting off the trail that night, because Will was picking us up. So we didn't take any of that stuff, but I was just like, this is amazing. And before anyone asked, someone might've already asked, we will be doing trail magic, because we'll still be in the US this time next year. So we're going to do trail magic, the two of us, and we'll go and do trail magic hopefully a couple of times.
And that's also the amazing thing about being people who've hiked the trail and then doing trail magic right after, is we know exactly what trail people want.
Right, exactly. Like, everyone we've met that's been doing trail magic has said, except for one group, they said they've hiked it and they know what you need and want. And it's really special, because people do this out of the kindness of their heart, and on their own budget, right? They're paying for this and they're not asking for anything in return, which is really amazing. Retiring next year, AT is a bucket list item in the next 5 years. Yes, do it, David. Do
Absolutely,
it.
yeah.
Question for Captain: what other games do you like besides D&D?
Right now that's about all I have time for. But I honestly I am very interested in many others, but at this point D&D is the only one that I can give my attention to right now.
When did you decide to become a pilot?
Right. So that was a long time ago. I originally knew that I was kind of interested in aviation like maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
I think you're around 10 years old.
Yeah, around there. We were flying a lot, and I just kind of had a very much an interest in how it all worked, how everything operated. And then after a little while, I did discovery flights. I was flying a lot in Portugal in 2021 before we did our Atlantic crossing in our boat. And then yeah, I just kind of decided that was gonna be it for me, and I'm very dedicated to that now.
I wonder, I mean, I think it was around 10. You might have been even younger than 10 when you decided. I mean, you were really young, and you've stayed steadfast to it since then.
Yeah.
Brenda wants to know, who's the oldest person you met on the trail? To be honest, that is not something that's discussed. I don't think I've heard anyone say how old they are. And I definitely wouldn't ask someone how old they were. But I've heard I've heard people say, oh, there's a 75-year-old woman, or there's a 76-year-old man. So people in their mid to late 70s are on the trail. I haven't asked anyone, and I wouldn't ask anyone their age. So I don't know.
Although those who are very proud of it normally tout
would
it.
say,
they're I'm 102.
Right.
Yeah. Doing the whole AT, 30 miles a day.
Right. Listen, if we find someone who's 102, they will be on the vlog, you guys, for
Absolutely.
Sure. Michelle says you always seem upbeat and positive, Captain. What's the toughest part of the AT?
I don't know. I feel like honestly, I feel like what really decides my day is either how difficult it is to either get up in the morning, meaning how cold it is, or just how well I sleep, because that really just it sours the day if you don't sleep well. If for some reason you're cold but you're too tired to want to change the fact that you're cold and put on some more layers, then I mean, it's not great. But I mean, I like to keep a positive attitude. I would say, if I'm looking at it from an outsider's view, your toughest part is getting up in the morning. Yeah. I'm awake for at least an hour before he gets up. I'm like, I'm like poking him, like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's go. He's like, oh, I think it's going to be better once it's not so cold. I think the cold is the worst part. The cold is awful. Dave says, what are both of your favorite and worst trail foods you've both tried? Oh, I know yours. I hate all of it. Way to be negative. Okay, so I'm a super foodie, and I was a pescatarian, so only eating fish, no pork, chicken, red meat, any of that before I came on the trail. I love fruits and veggies. I made a decision before I came on the trail that it was going to be too difficult to balance my protein coming in and out of these little towns where I might not be able to find items that I like in high protein. So I said, I'll eat meat. Those first couple meat meals were really bad for me. I felt sick and just not so well. And then a few days later, you were devouring burgers. A few days later, I was devouring burgers. My body wanted burgers. For me, so I'm just talking of food that we're carrying with us, not when we get off trail. When we get off trail and eat at a restaurant, I love everything I eat. I'm so happy to be eating. The MREs don't work great for me. I haven't had a diet high in sugar, high in processed food, or high in carbs. However, you have like the MREs that are sold by Decathlon. I do like those, yeah. So I haven't had a diet of what a typical AT diet is in over 10 years. And my body doesn't like it. It doesn't react well to sugar. I have a lot of allergies, and you can probably hear me on there. Sometimes I'm just so sniffly. I have really bad ones right now because I had some ketchup with some high fructose corn syrup in it for breakfast. Not just ketchup. I had with other things, but so I don't want to be all negative, but the food is something that I'm in transition about, and I need to start eating different food. He's doing really okay. He loves I love the MREs. They taste normally amazing. The protein bars that I've been having are amazing. I wouldn't really say I'm complaining about anything. This is kind of, I'm eating pretty badly compared to what I normally have to eat. Like, this is not my normal chicken and rice. Yeah, right. It's not.
So I don't know if I can answer. We definitely have to do a couple of vlogs on the food. We're going to compare our protein bars. I don't like them because they taste chalky and too much sugar for me. But I'm really enjoying the Kind bars. I'm enjoying the trail mix that I made. I'm also made, when I say make it, I mean, I like bought big bulks of nuts and cranberries and then kind of put them all in a Ziploc bag together.
Shook it around a bit.
Yeah, shook it around a bit. I did dried fruit bags. Slim Jims are working out okay for me. I'm going to switch to almond butter, a lot of almond butter, more nuts, and a couple of other things to switch it up so it's food I enjoy more. Blocks of cheese are coming with me for sure.
Entire blocks of cheese.
Entire blocks of cheese.
Maybe a wheel too, just like
a wheel of cheese. We're gonna be dragging it behind. So on the food thing, we haven't talked a lot on the vlogs about the food thing because we have 5 more months, guys, and we're still finding our groove. But there will be more vlogs talking about the food because I know that's everyone is curious about the food, the gear, how we set up our tent, how we take it down,
stuff like that.
Electronics. Yeah. He's going to do a whole vlog about the charging situation and what electronics we have. And it's not that we're trying to deny that for you. It's that so far there's just been so much going on and just so much comes up to share that feels like stuff we can share on a day where not much is happening, you know, where we're not seeing a bear or freezing our butts off or something. So definitely more to come on that for the foods for sure. Barna says, hi, I follow you since you've been in Hungary. Come to Hungary again. We have awesome hike culture. The blue circle reaches all the cool places, though not that high mountains. Oh, I like that. As much as I love the prettiness of the high mountains equals cold. Geraldine wants to know if we ever annoy the heck out of each other.
Not really.
I know when I annoyed you.
When?
So I'm afraid of the dark.
Oh, right.
I'm working on that. I did a lot of night hikes when we did the Camino, and I truly, truly enjoyed them. But there were more people, and the terrain was flatter, and there were no bears and all that stuff. So the couple of times we've hiked in the dark, I've been a little cranky. And I've had to, and I've been a little cranky, and he hasn't been super sensitive, but I apologize when we get to camp because I've been cranky. Would you say that's a good?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're in the dark, it gets a bit kind of
but you're
worrying,
not scared of the dark.
I don't get that scared of the dark because I know that my mind tries to kind of fill in the gaps when I'm looking up and seeing these random glints of light, and they're like, oh, there's a bear over there.
Right, everything looks like eyes.
Exactly, yeah. So my key is just look down. Even if there's a bear, I can't see it. It's not there.
It's not there. And when I get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, there's all kinds of like little stumps of trees, and everything looks like a bear. I'm like, I mean, I don't want to start. I know the bear isn't interested in me, but I don't want to startle it either. So, do we annoy the heck out of each other? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm annoying Largo, but I do think I annoy him a little bit in the dark, and I am a little annoying in the dark because I don't have any type of anxiety or not too many fears, but I do get a little nervous in the dark, and I'm not the best version of myself. Have I annoyed you?
No, not really. So it's really rare. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so cool to hike with.
Yeah, definitely.
So they have schools for commercial pilots, even a whole university dedicated to this. No, they're asking that. Would be pretty close. I think that's what they're asking.
No,
we have schools. We have schools in Hungary. Oh, that's cool. Very interesting. That's very cool. From Alabama. Hello, Billy. Brenda, you're an amazing family. Oh, thank you. That's really, really sweet. Thank you for breaking out of the prescribed life. Oh, thank you. It's not for everyone, right? It was the right path for us, and it's really, really worked out. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful we took the plunge, and we did. And it was really scary because Will and I always said it's just a wild science experiment because we knew 2 people that had done this, and there were no one was YouTubing about it. It was like a blog that we read, and Will was like, I don't know, are these real people? Is this fake? Like there just weren't the resources there are now. So, and it really worked out for us, but it was scary at times because we didn't know if it was going to work out. We didn't know if we're going to screw them up or screw up ourselves or end up broke. Like it just, you don't know when there aren't many people that have gone before you.
Yeah.
What weather do you prefer? Too hot or too cold? Too hot, too hot, too hot.
Actually,
what do you think?
I don't know. I don't like the heat, but I also don't like waking up in the cold. Walking in the cold is perfectly fine.
I don't mind walking in the cold either.
It's just the waking up part.
Yeah. There was only one day walking in the cold, and I talked about in the vlog where I had filled the water in the morning and my fingers and toes took over, and probably close to 2 hours before they really weren't tingly anymore and felt great. But pretty much I think our gear really works for hiking in the cold. When it's cold, if we put all of our gear on, I'm totally fine. Like there's been cold days, but not out of control. Cold nights, out of control. Would you agree?
Yeah.
We've had some miserable cold nights. And we're going to talk in a video in the future about our sleep system. I got a new sleeping pad while I'm here. It added 1 pound to my weight, but I cannot take the crinkle of my Nemo anymore. He rolls over, it crinkles. I roll over, crinkles. Anyone in camp rolls over, they crinkle. I mean, I can't get everyone new sleeping pads, but I want to at least see if that works. Plus, I got one that's 4 inches wider, so hopefully I won't fall off it anymore. But
that was a very common occurrance normally.
It was. Yeah, one of us would fall off and be in the middle of the tent on the ground every night. Missed the beginning. Where are you now? We are in Palm Springs for Captain to take his. I'm practicing, you guys. I'm going to get better at this, damn it. I am.
We'll get there eventually.
He's taking 2 AP exams, one in French and one in Spanish, and then we'll be back on the trail. There might be like 4 or 5 days where we don't have any vlogs. We'll probably post some old ones or something, because Will's editing and we're not with him. We have to be able to get off trail and give him the footage. So it might be a little bit, it might not. I don't know. We'll have to see. I got to show you guys something that I've been waiting to show you here. So Mother's Day is tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day to mothers. Aunts and uncle who plays mothers, dads who take on the mummy role, the whole shebangy. So Avalon was here and her and Laura did an early Mother's Day for me. Look what they made. Isn't this cute? There we go. Sunshine and Captain. It's a piece of wood, and then they put this stuff on the back.
There were a lot more. However, glue does not stick.
They keep falling off. And I told Largo, I think that we should put this on the back of our pack and hike with this.
Great idea.
But it's about 5 pounds. So
it is?
No, but it's heavy. It's heavy. Isn't it cute?
It's a heavy piece of wood.
I love it. It's really, really cute. It was fun to kind of celebrate Mother's Day early. Well, they were both here with us. Let's see. Do jumping jacks when you cross the road. You don't like our chicken walk? Also, wait, let's see okay. Let me look at you guys. Put some more questions in there if you have them. And I'm going to look at the list because there were a bunch of people that sent me. We talked about the feet. Okay. Okay, so a couple of people have asked, someone sent in a question asking why I'm not editing the vlogs. I have never been the editor in our vlogging life, but also because I'm working 20 hours already on the trail, which I'm going to try and cut back to 10. There's no way I could edit. I mean, I can learn to edit, but there's no way I can edit too on top of that. It's very, very difficult. Shooting
is a bit easier.
Uploading footage.
Yeah.
And I do the thumbnails as well. Take a total of about 2 hours of my day to do outside of my other work that I need to do for our business. And then the vlogs take about 6 hours, sometimes 8 for Will to edit them. So there's a lot of time and effort that goes into them. And there's no way I could do more than I'm already doing work-wise on the trail. If it was all I was doing was shooting and then editing and didn't have other work, I would definitely try to take on that role so that we could be a little more efficient. But it's just not in the cards at this point.
Exactly.
Largo, do you want to talk about that? How did that get on the list?
I can't. Hold on. Which one?
Top.
Wow. No.
Okay. This is about pooping on the trail. We're going to skip that for now. Okay. Let's see. Largo, you want to answer some questions while I'm looking at this?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
We talked about the trail community.
So.
How is it balancing work and school? We talked about that. That's been very difficult, but it's going to be easier going forward. A lot of people on the trail have seen us. We'll kind of pull over to the side. And while he's taking French or Spanish or English class, I will sometimes do like a standing meditation, or I'll make him an early lunch.
Or shoot B-roll.
I'll shoot B-roll. Yeah. I'll go to the bathroom. It's very rare that I just lay there and rest because I can always find something to do. And I'm always worried that if I stop, I'm not going to want to get back up. So, but people come by and they go, oh yeah, you're the kid doing school on the trail. So
I am known as the studious one.
Yeah, it's a new phenomenon. People are like, you can do that? I mean, he could never do his full academic. He's at the end of his school year. It was only 5 weeks he needed to do this, and he only had 3 classes left. Like, I wouldn't suggest anyone do a child's full academic year on the trail. That's a lot.
I would definitely not be able to upkeep all that.
And also, you're missing out on, like, you know, part of the journey if you're doing that much school. Okay, I'm going to put a little click beside the ones we've already done. Okay, we talked about the trail community. We talked about balancing. Let's see. I'll give you
logistics.
I'm going to give you one to answer while I make sure. We talked about your butt hurting from sitting too much.
It's a true phenomenon.
We talked about this is a physically hard for me and not as mental compared to the boat. Who is faster? These are all questions people had. You're faster. Oh, how much weight have we lost or gained?
Oh, wow. No, this one is interesting. This is a scientific mystery, some might say. I've actually lost about 5 pounds. And funny enough, I don't have the weight to lose. Whereas you...
I haven't lost any. I think I put on 1 pound. And this is the funniest thing. So apparently men will lose more weight on the trail than women. And every women I've talked to on the trail, it's not like we're talking about our weight all the time. I never talk about weight. I haven't owned a scale in like 20 years. I only know my weight because I went to the doctor's back in September and I based it on that. And I think Chica and Sunsets had a scale and I got on it. And then I got on a scale again like 2 days ago. And I've actually I fluctuate between being my regular weight or putting on a pound. And all the women I've talked to on the trail have lost a minimum of 10 pounds. Now, I'm not trying to lose weight. I don't really have weight to lose. I don't want to have to manage more things than when, because I'm losing too much weight or losing energy or whatever. I just find this hilarious that I haven't lost any weight and everyone's losing weight. Now, someone said to me, I think they're trying to be kind, well, you're just balancing your protein and your intake and your calories really well, but I don't think I am. So I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of chalking it up to...
You're losing the exact same amount of fat as you are gaining muscle.
I don't know. Will said that I'm getting more muscly. He said I have hiker body now. That could be. Muscle weighs more than fat. It could be that I'm eating worse. So I'm not losing weight as a result of it, but I'm walking like 10 to 12 hours a day. So I don't know. It's a mystery, guys. We'll have to circle back with that and let you know, because I really don't know why I'm not. One change. Okay. So someone asked about a change going forward. One change we need to make going forward, and he's not super keen on it, but we did it the last 2 days on trail and it made a difference because, because we've been doing school and working along the way. When we stop for an hour here, an hour there for him to do school, that's kind of our break. And so we really haven't been taking breaks, like designated breaks. Like I just told you everything I do during his breaks. And so we took breaks the last 2 days, and I realized the value of morning break, lunch break, afternoon break, and that we really need to be taking this. Now this getting warmer, taking our socks off, letting our feet breathe, all that kind of stuff. And he's not super keen on it because he's like, I can keep going, but
we're losing valuable walking time.
I feel like that's key, like mentally and physically. And I think that's one thing that we've been lacking on. There's a couple of things we've been lacking on. But I think that's something we have to kind of fix going forward. I'll tell you the other things that are lacking for me. I already talked about reducing my pack weight and working less. I'm not sleeping great. So I'm working on my sleep system. I think it's going to be better once it gets warmer. I'm not in love with the quilt system. Air is still getting in. I have the straps on. So I'm still kind of working through that. And I will talk about all that. Eating cleaner. And not eating so much processed stuff and sugar, and supplementing that another way, and then healing my Achilles. Those are kind of changes that I need to make.
All is going well right now.
Do you feel like you have to make any changes going forward?
Not really. Go faster. Always go faster.
Always go faster. All right, let me see. Let's look if there's any more. Thank you for the Happy Mother's Day. Will my parents do a few miles with you or your sister? My sister lives in Los Angeles, so she likely will not do some miles with me. My dad has talked about doing some miles with us. So probably when we get closer to Maine, he'll come in on the trail and do some miles with us. And he's talked about Trail Magic too. Someone said they love the homemade gifts. I know they're awesome, aren't they? Does Largo know how to edit? Do you know how to edit, Largo?
I know how to
little bit.
edit. No, I've a lot of experience with editing. I just rarely actually do it because I think that I don't know. I don't know the very fancy Premiere Pro that Dad uses and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm more trained on the simpler the simpler system that we used to use. What, 5 years ago?
Yeah, right. All right, I've got another question on here. So actually, I think it was Will correcting me. He said, when we got off the trail, we were at 307 miles. I think we were actually physically at I think we were physically at 290 miles, but we did, that day we went in slack pack, we did 21 miles or something like that. So we're over 300 miles, but we actually haven't hit the 300 mile mark on the trail because we went like this, then we skipped ahead. We went like this, and then we skipped ahead and did a day.
Perspective.
I know, perspective. Did a day, and then we got to go back to where we were. So we'll hit our 300 mile mark on our first day back on the trail, and then we're going to be kind of cranking it out. We're going to probably slack pack some days near Irwin because it's a really easy way to slack pack there. It'll give our body an opportunity to transition back into hiking. And although they say on the trail you can't do more miles when you're slack packing, we have done that. We've done more miles when we slack pack.
We've definitely done more. We've also had the benefit of easy meals and a nice bed after that, where normally you might find like just a random hotel.
Right.
But yeah.
If you have a comfy bed and you slack, you can knock out some serious miles there. And then Will just made another note for me. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see what else here. Do you guys have any other questions for us? I'm just looking at the list of the people who sent questions in to see what else we got going on here. Okay, all right, so mileage update. We have to walk 17 miles a day until New Hampshire, and then 12 miles a day after that. Anything above that daily average goes towards a 0 day, if that makes sense. If we want to make it, we're setting a goal to make it by September 25th, which is my birthday.
We've got a little piggy bank of extra miles that once we do an extra mile, we put it in the 0 day bank. And then once we've done 17 extra miles, we take a 0 day.
Exactly. So if we've done 20, then that's 3 miles towards the 0. And the idea is that
we have to earn the zeros.
We have to earn the zeros. And is this a pretty overzealous? I don't think it's overzealous. I mean, no. we've done, I don't know how many we've done now, but we've done quite a few 17, 18, 19, 20 days already. And we've done some 8, some 12, we've done a variety, but I think that will be fine kind of to hit that goal. I also want to do more than 17 because there's going to be, for example, at the end of Avalyn's freshman year, I could not help her move out of university because of where we were in the world. I could not help her move in her sophomore year because we were in the world. And I could not help her move out, pack up her stuff at the end of this year because we were here for his APs. I want to help her move into her junior year into her apartment. So we'll take a couple days off for that. So we're kind of banking these days. We have some friends that are going to come hike with us on the trail here and there. We're not going to be like, you have to do 20 miles a day, so we're going to,
you're following our schedule.
So that's kind of what we have like going forward. Like I've heard people saying, oh, this person isn't going to make it because they started on this day. I think that it's really bad to kind of start judging how other people are hiking. We don't know what they're doing, their process, what they're made of, what their strategy is. And everyone's different. That's why the saying is hike your own hike. On the Camino, it's do the way, because it's called the way, your way. And we really make an effort, not to make an effort. I just don't want to judge the way other people are doing it or living their life. Like it's not part of how we live our life. And I wouldn't want it done to me. So I think this is doable. Will did all the numbers for us because he's the accountant. And I think that we can feasibly do that. Obviously, we're not going to be doing 17 miles a day through the whites. That's why we're going to gear back once we hit New Hampshire and Maine, because those are apparently the hardest part of the trail. So let's see. Okay. We'll keep you for about 10 more minutes and then let everyone go. I know you guys want to get all your questions in. So we're both looking great. Oh, thank you so much. This is what, like a shower and like,
This is just a shower.
This is just we got a haircut. Do either of you ever listen to Audible books while hiking? Yes.
Very long pause there.
Okay, so he's been listening to a lot of French and Spanish to prepare him for these exams. I would like us to listen to less. Well, obviously he's not going to be listening to that once we get on the trail.
No.
He likes to listen to this Dungeons and Dragon thing, which is like 6 hours every week.
It's 3 hours normally.
3 hours.
I rarely do it all in one session, and then kind of I spread it out. And we rarely listen to things for that long.
We rarely do. Our friends Chica and Sunset said they stopped listening to audiobooks on the AT because they had to pay attention, not getting lost on the trail, not falling in holes. You get caught up in a book. I have about 20 downloaded. I have about 5 that I'd like to listen to together. And if we accomplish that, I'll be happy with that. Right now we're listening to this one that's fabulous called Stolen Focus. I'll talk about it on the vlog. It's amazing. It's just about how technology is stealing our focus and we can't get in the flow of our creativity because of technology. That's kind of just the gist of it, but it's really great. And I thought it was very fitting since we're on the trail and we're having less tech but yeah,
so we kind of try and keep listening to stuff to a minimum.
To a minimum, I would say not more than a couple hours a day. We listen to nature, we talk, we vlog, we rest. We just try to not over tech ourselves, since the whole point of this is to kind of take a break from all that, right? And be in the space. And I love to listen to podcasts and audiobooks. And I thought it would be a real challenge for me to just listen to nature. And I'm loving just listening to nature. Like it's really, really working out very well. Okay.
Absolutely,
I'm going to look at this list and then, okay. Talked about that. Is it loud at night in the camp spots?
It isn't normally that loud. I think that there's always the odd group that's a bit of a party group and kind of.
It doesn't bother us.
Doesn't normally bother us, and we can normally sleep very well. We kind of snuggle up in our quilts and then fall asleep.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I mentioned this on a vlog already, but someone did ask the question, so maybe they didn't see the vlog. We all have to work together in the space we're in, and through hikers are very different than section hikers, who are very different than weekend hikers, who are very different than one night hikers, very different people celebrating, bachelor party or that kind of stuff. And we all have to work together in this space. I mean, is it annoying if someone's drunk at 2 a.m. and wakes you up? Well, that hasn't happened to us yet, but we've heard noises and we just kind of roll with it. But we're super flexible because of how we've lived. We've slept in so many hostels and couch surfing and albergues. I mean, the Camino, we'd sleep with up to 100 different people a night in bunk beds beside each other. You could touch the person next to you, snoring, people with crinkling bags. So you just have to be willing to tolerate it all.
As long as you have earplugs, you'll be fine.
Right. And the other thing is, if you want it like home, then stay home. I mean, there's you got to take the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And nothing's perfect. So, okay, let's see. There's a lot of questions. Let's see. Okay, we'll talk about that after. Do you want to catch up with the people you walk with? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that?
Yeah. I mean, catching up with the people we met on the first day is impossible at this point.
No,
unless we buy an ATV and then drive around the trail. But yeah, I think that we can catch up with some of the people that we might have missed, like maybe a few days after us. But at this point, I'd want to. Pretty much impossible.
Yeah, I mean, we met some in our first couple of days. We really connected with some people quite deeply, and they were like sharing their honest truths of why they're out there, and we felt like this is really great. This is how we operate, and I love this. But because of us getting off, we're always in a new group, and we're always meeting new people, which is really cool as well. So, we're always. It's kind of like our life of travel. We're always kind of going someplace and seeing someone we love and miss, or meeting someone new, and we're always leaving someone, if that makes sense. So we're kind of in like this purgatory of like happy and sad all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's cool because we get to meet new people. All right. We'll put a message in here. Ask for a thumbs up. Can you guys click the thumbs up? Thumbs up. Click that thumbs up, please.
Wait, is this a FaceTime thing? Hold on.
I don't know.
Does it work?
I don't know. I don't see that thumbs up going up, guys. Click the thumbs up, please. Okay, so we talked about we'll be Slack packing. If we're coming, and I think I just put this in a vlog or one that's coming out. If we're coming through your way and you want to Slack us for a day, thank you for the thumbs up. Reach out, send me an email, Jessica at World Towning. It's like you drive us to the trail and then you pick us up at the end of the day. with our bag and stuff. It's nothing crazy. But if you feel like you want to do that, or you want to chat, or you want to pick our brain, or you want to meet us on the trail, let us know. We don't mind sharing, and like just we're an open book. I mean,
absolutely,
this is a lot of people's lifelong dream. And, we want to be here to help of the questions you have. Everyone is different. How they experience it is different. Just like my feet or my Achilles are hurting, his is fine. But from just like a mental part of it, like, I think it's really important to be sharing all the things that are going on and the things that, that you have to think about. Like, if someone being loud in the campsite at night is going to keep you awake all night, it's going to ruin your hike, then maybe there's a different strategy you use. Maybe you don't sleep at shelters. Maybe you platinum blaze. Platinum blazing is when you hike all day and then you sleep in a hotel or bed and breakfast.
Which sounds very nice.
And then you get up and you hike all day again. You have to have a good budget for that.
Yeah.
But there's all different ways to do this. But as long as you know all the facts about what you're getting into, then you can kind of plan accordingly, of how you want to do this. Okay. I think I've got most of the people that sent their questions in here. I do want to talk about trail days. Okay. All right. Let me see what we got over here. I saw something there was a question here. Where was it? Dave says he's still in shock finding out that pink's not my natural hair color.
It's crazy.
He may need therapy. I love it. Hi, Tammy from Florida. New York, been watching you guys from day one. Oh, thank you so much. First of all, I don't know if we've said this, like, thank you guys so much for watching us. I know it's a big commitment. I know you can't watch every day. If you are, thank you so much. If there's something that we're not providing that you want, let us know. Like, hey, can you show more of this or that? Some days we might be able to do it. Some days we might not be able to. But we want to make sure you really feel like you're there kind of with us, walking and talking and whatnot.
Still walking and still talking.
Yeah. And someone suggested that you say still walking and I say still talking, because apparently I talk too much. And those of you who want to hear more from Largo, Captain, you will hear more from him now. There was a lot of the time he had his headphones on because his Spanish and French teachers said, listen to French radio, listen to Spanish book on tape as much as you possibly can before the exam. And so I was not going to say, hey, come chat with me or whatever. He loves doing this and being on it, but he had other priorities at the beginning of the trail. So you're going to see more of him going forward. Hopefully you didn't tire of me too much, but he's coming. There's more Largo coming.
Eventually.
He's the better half. Let's see. As a new viewer, I love the Throwback Thursday. Thank you so much. So there's several reasons we're putting those in. One, we're going to have a lag time of we don't really want to have a day where we don't post, but because of us being off trail for 17 days, we were already behind on the vlog. So that's okay. It kind of catches us up, but there's still going to be a little bit of a lag time. So we want to still put stuff out there, as well as before we started the trail, we were almost a year behind on editing and posting our vlogs from what we've been doing for the year before this, because life got in the way and we had to put more energy into the other aspects of our business. So we don't want that stuff to be too dated. So we're throwing it in on Thursday so you guys can see kind of like the other side of our life of, kind of the history behind, or at least the last year.
The lore behind all of our travel.
Right. And just like how things have changed and how this all came to be. And so are we both extroverts?
I would say so. Yeah.
I would say you and I are probably
the most extroverted out of
the family. I think I'm more of an extrovert introvert, and that the trail's good for me because I have time to recharge. Like I really love people and I can't get enough of them. And so when I'm with people, I'm like, tell me this about you, tell me that about you, all these questions. And I really get into like discovering and understanding people. And the conversations are intense and passionate, and then I'm wiped out after.
Yeah.
And so then I need time to recharge, if that makes sense. And I'm here. You're just perfect. Heather wants to know if we're interested in the history of the trail, the places along the trail.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So this is interesting. On the Camino, this was a question we got a lot. And there were a couple comments that people, when we hiked the Camino Frances, they didn't feel that we were immersed in, like the local things that were going on enough when we were passing through towns. And we could not be, because we hiked from like 6 to noon, and then we would shower, and then we worked for about 5 or 6 hours a day. So as much of the history as we can do within the constraints of our hiking, as well as the 2 hours of work we're putting into the vlog each day, we will do. I wouldn't say we're specifically history focused. There's this, I don't know a lot of other channels that are out there, except that I've been organizing this thing, Trail Days, and I'll tell you about it in a minute. But there is this one girl, and I only was able to watch one of her vlogs because I just don't have the time or the bandwidth on most days. But I watched one here. Her name is Sunny, like just like something like Sunshine, Sunny on the AT, I think. And she does a lot of history stuff. So you might want to check her out. I don't know if she did it ahead of time and kind of had it lined out, or if she's doing it each night. But from what I can see, her history stuff is really, really great. We will do it, but not to the capacity that I would aspire to do, because I do love that aspect of it. And it's just of time constraints.
We're not going to memorize the dates. That's
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we are doing, like, for example, when we go by, I'm really fascinated by the grave sites. So I have this vision that we won't just look at the grave sites, but we can actually look the people up and find their history. And also I'm very into like meeting the people like that work on the trail. Not just the volunteers or the people who have hostels and shuttles and why they do what they do. I love that aspect of it. But we are trying to get more history. It's just a time constraint. If that answers your question. Excuse me. More pranks. Billy says more pranks.
Great
Pranks.
idea.
April 1st is fun, huh?
That was amazing.
I think we got to do past May, June 1st or July 1st. I loved your glasses. Oh, thank you. I don't have these on the trail. I just have like my like $10 toss away. Will you go grab my glasses on the table? I got to show them what happened. So these are my nice glasses that I use when I work on the computer, but they were more expensive than the other one. And the other one I just like shove in the bag and drop on the ground. And then I was trying. So when we were in Los Angeles and I was in the place we were staying, I slept on my new mattress one night and I rolled over and, sexy, huh? I broke my glasses. So these are my trail glasses and I can't see out of them as well. And they're super dirty. I'll probably have to get another pair. Maybe you'll just see me on the trail like this, but I will destroy these on the trail. So, let's see, make sure to record any salamanders. Oh yeah. I love, and Will loves them in the edit too. He's always loved filming bugs and moths and butterflies. Those are hard to get on video. So salamanders, all of them. Yeah. Any type of thing we see there, we will add that. One item neither of you could do without on the trail.
It's a good, the power
banks.
Power banks. I have 3 of them, which doesn't really count as one item, but still.
I don't know what mine would be. I feel like every day I say, this is the best thing ever about something in my gear. And I'd have to be food. I have to be looking at my gear right now to say, well, like something I use every day toilet paper. I really like that. I don't like my mattress that much.
You don't like your mattress, your new one?
Oh, my new one I like, but I got to try it on the trail. Something I couldn't do without. I like my puffy jacket a lot. I know there's, I'm going to get off this chat with you guys and I'm going to say, oh, Largo, that's what I can't do without. We're going to revisit that. I'm going to put that in something to chat about on a vlog because I definitely have stuff I can't live without. I mean, I use my glasses all the time.
Yeah.
I like having a fanny pack because I have my 2 side pouches on my bag that I put my snacks in, and my fanny pack has like my chapstick and my hand sanitizer and the little filters for our camera and stuff like that. I'm going to think on that one. I know there's like 100 things I can't do without, but I'm going to think about that one. I'll get back to you on that. Where did let's see, there was another one there that I wanted to mention to you, Largo. Where is that? Sherry says she's going to send you ice cream money. I love it. We're getting into ice cream weather. Have I ever thought about writing a book? Yes. So I was actually starting to write a book about our decade of travel when we decided, and I put it on pause and we decided to come do this trail. There's going to be a book out of this trail. There's no way there can't be. There's been so much that's already happened. And that's something I'm trying to do too, is at night I take notes on things that have happened on the trail that have been really, really interesting. Yeah, Heather, check out Sunny on the AT. She's or Sunny something. I don't know. She's a young girl with like long hair who's hiking. Grandma Gatewood's walk is about the AT. It's on Audible. I have that one downloaded. Everyone keeps referring that I haven't listened to it yet, but I have it downloaded. How about doing a day without power and recording and see if your experience is different?
Well, I mean, we couldn't record if
everything's charged.
I mean,
No,
I
I'm putting
think
that. I'm
here's the
putting that
thing.
on the
I think we
list.
could survive if we didn't have power, but also we wouldn't survive the next day.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'm just making a couple notes here because I want to address this on future vlogs. I can't believe. So I have a couple ideas that I've written down, but again, there's been so much to share already that we haven't had time to address it, but want to do one vlog for sure, like a silent one, like us not talking, but us kind of just like, there's so many ideas that we have just to kind of shake it up a bit and you guys to have a different experience as a viewer, just like completely kind of immersed in the wilderness without any talking and see, if you get what kind of vibe you get from it. Okay. The girl's name channel is just Sunny. If anyone's looking to that one who does a lot of history. Thank you. They like the haircuts. Someone says, how long it's been a long time since I watched the videos. Is that the kid or someone else?
Wow. I'm somebody else, I definitely am not.
He's a man-child now, guys. I love that. All right. If I missed your question, drop it down in the comments. I'm going to show you guys a couple other things and then I'm going to let you go because we've kept you forever. But okay. So we had these stickers made. Look how cute they are. If you're on the trail and you see us on the trail, ask me for one. Okay. Then we have these patches, and then these are AT patches that we're going to have with us on the trail as well. So if you're on the trail, let us know. You can grab one from us, which leads to, if anyone's going to trail days, which trail days is like the big, like, how would you explain it?
It's a convention for hikers.
Yeah. Basically a hiker convention. We're actually flying in on a red eye from Los Angeles the day it starts. And on May 18th, we're going to do a YouTube meetup at the distillery, May 18th at the distillery, which is a bar.
It's a distillery.
It's a whiskey distillery. They said young people can come in too, from 5 to 8 p.m. And what I've done, because I'm a bit of a community junkie, and I said I love people, I reached out to a bunch of other people YouTubing on the trail. I don't know all of them. Will help me compile a list. And then I asked other YouTubers on the trail to share the news with any YouTubers they meet. That we're going to do a YouTube, and then anyone who's part of their community who watches their vlogs to come and meet people. And so far the response has been really great. It's nothing fancy. It's just like a bunch of people, a bunch of YouTubers and a bunch of people who watch their vlogs and are part of their community and friends and family, just all kind of meeting and hanging out together from 5 to 8 at the distillery on May 18th. And if you come, I'll have stickers and patches. Just ask me for one. We are definitely going to be there. Yeah, Will's going to be there. Evelyn is not going to be there because she is traveling for work, although she would love to come. And it'll be fun. I'm really excited to meet like the other channels because we don't really know the other, unless we've met like 3 or 4 people on the trail that said they're vlogging, but we never have the bandwidth or we don't have the Wi-Fi or whatever. At night, we can't sit and watch. We're working or we're dead tired. We fall asleep, right? So it's really exciting to kind of get to meet these people in person and kind of chat with other people. And then also meet a lot of you guys out there if you're coming to it or you live nearby, and chat with you in person. And we'll answer questions and be our cheerful self. We're going to be super clean because because we won't be sleeping in our tent that night because we get back on the trail the next day. So we have a hotel for the night. So we're going to shower. We're going to wear deodorant, all the special things for you guys. All right. So Carol says you're a mini Will Largo. Someone says he's a man now. Yeah. He's a man now. Oh, thank you about the stickers. Dave said this has been a great live stream. Katadan's there waiting for you guys. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, what's the town? So the town for the trail days is Damascus, Virginia. So Damascus, Virginia is actually where Will has been staying for the last month. And while we were hiking on the trail, and it is actually the first kind of official checkpoint after your first check-in when you check in at Springer Mountain. And I don't want to end on a negative note. I'll tell you this, and we'll end on a happy note. But 60%, according to Trek.co, 60% of the people that attempt to through hike the entire trail drop out before or at Damascus, which is 400 and
something miles,
60 miles, I think.
60, yeah, 70.
So I thought that was a pretty interesting stat. We've only known one person to drop out because they dropped out right in front of us, but we've heard of a lot of people getting injured and having to stop the trail, which makes me really sad because I know how hard that must be. I know I wouldn't. I already decided if I break an arm, I continue on.
Yeah, you don't need an arm.
But if I break a leg, that might be a problem.
No, you can keep continuing. You just hop the rest of the way.
And as much as I fall, I haven't broken anything yet. Let's knock on some wood. It's unlikely. Maybe I'm unbreakable. Who knows? Okay. Snicker says you guys are sweet and funny too. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this is really just like such a cool experience doing this. And it wasn't something that it was so spontaneous for us. And it wasn't something that we'd been planning for years and years and years. And so I'm really glad it's working out. First and foremost, my goal is to do this with him and spend quality time with him. And then second is, my own personal journey doing it, tied with the community we meet along the way, tied with producing these vlogs to share the reality of it. So he's first and everyone and everything else second. Wow. And Will and the cat are in second too. So we're all in second, he's first. But I think it's so far, it's been a really cool experience. And I know the New Hampshire, Maine are going to be really hard, but I feel like we've overcome some really hard things already. Okay. And Will said, he said to look at the notes before I sign off. Uh-oh. Ooh. Oh, hi, honey. You look so sexy today. Oh, thank you. No, he didn't say that. Talk about, I don't know what he's talking about there. Okay. So one thing is we're gonna try and do a live. We don't do these live streams that often, but I really think there's a lot of value in them, particularly on the trail, because you can ask like questions in the flesh here. So we're gonna try and do one of these once a month. I would love to do one from the trail, like in our tent, if we have really good Wi-Fi. I can't promise it, and it would be quite spontaneous, but you can always, it tapes it, so you can always watch it after the fact. So that is a goal, once a month, at least one time in the next 5 months from the tent. It'd be really fun if we could take like outside and kind of show you guys what's going on. At the end of our videos, you guys probably saw there's like names and stuff on there. That's not like our favorite people. Those are people that are patrons in our community. And we put their name on there to thank them for becoming a patron. If anyone's interested in becoming a patron, you can find World Towning on Patreon. We also, some other things we do, we produce a weekly podcast. And we produce a weekly newsletter. That's part of my workload that I do when I'm working the 20 hours. If you want to kind of, the podcast we talk about, it's called The Why Matters. We talk about the why behind everything we do in life as humans. And then we usually relate it to some travel story. And the newsletter is just my streaming thoughts, sometimes really focused and really articulate. And sometimes just, whatever's going on in my head.
Sometimes chaos.
Sometimes it's chaos, guys. Sometimes my head is chaos, but the trail does balance me some. So, okay, let's see. And I think there was one more note what Will had in here for me to make sure I told you guys. Let's see. Largo, read that, and I'll look at this while you're doing that.
Oh, wow. So we should look out for rattlesnakes from Kimberly. Apparently, they didn't make noise until you pass them. Or they don't make noise until you pass them. So, I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for that. Me sitting on random logs all the time. Just kind of just winging it.
Rattlesnakes are a serious thing. I've had a couple people send me messages about the rattlesnakes and to be really careful. And also, I think about the rattlesnakes when I go to the bathroom and I'm dropping my drawers out there and there's a lot of leaves. You have to dig your hole. And I'm afraid I'm going to dig my hole and there's going to be a rattlesnake right there. So I am very concerned about rattlesnakes and ticks. Those are the two big things that I'm a little concerned about on the trail. But, yeah. All right. We're going to do 3 minutes or less. Does anyone have any other questions that they want to drop in there? You guys, this has been really great. You've had awesome questions. You've given us some things to think about that we can share in the vlog. If you get off and you're like, oh, I wish you would talk about, or you should do a day like I said, Lord, we should do a day walking backwards. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
That'd be a great idea, wouldn't it?
We're gonna fall like But we've got some things up our sleeve of just fun things to do, just because, it's a lot of hours out there. I mean, we can only talk about the trees and the terrain and the miles and all that stuff too much, right? Costumes, more
That'd
lives.
be a great idea.
Okay, so I don't want to spoil it, but we do have some things coming down the line. I'm going to tell you guys, okay? So this is one thing. We're having a really rough day. We have fake mustaches.
It kind of blends in with your skin
It does
color.
kind of blend in with my skin color.
Hold on.
But we've got some here. We've got some things up our sleeve because, we want it's got to be fun out here, right? We might just go crazy if we just start, if we're too serious about it. I mean, obviously we're serious with the safety and our eating and all that kind of stuff and kindness to others and whatnot. So,
Absolutely.
All right, let me see if there's any more things that I missed in there. No, we are good. I think I got everyone that messaged questions and everyone here with questions. So don't walk backwards. You need to be able to finish it. So true.
That'd be a great idea. Yeah.
It's so true. You guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's been really great. We appreciate you. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate your comments and questions. I usually respond. I try to respond to all the comments once a week when we get off trail and do our zero. While I'm working. It's my nice break between projects. I don't know how much I'll be able to do that going forward if we're not zeroing, because we won't actually be taking a day off. So I'll have to do like my work that I need to do. Like when we get off at the trail at 3 until the next morning, we get back on at like 10. So I will do my best. Please, please don't think it's because we don't care and we don't appreciate you. It's just a time constraint. I do often when I can get service on the trail, I'll look at them. There's a lot of times where I look at your comments and I'm like, okay, I can do this. He's fine. He's fine. He doesn't need your comments. He's surviving. I'm over there going,
I am perfectly capable.
I'm struggling. And I'm like, oh, John from Kentucky said, you can do it, Jessica. And I'm like, you can do it. You can do it, Sunshine. You can do it. All right, you guys have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your day, wherever you are. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
And we will see you tomorrow.